Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the third game in the rematch series between Food Please and Gummibaer Grün on Nomad. And the score is currently tied 1-1. So let's see which player will come out on top after this game. So, time and time again, we've seen great aggression from Food Please throughout the games, and we've come to kind of expect it. And that's why Gummibaer has become stronger and stronger throughout the series. And actually, he should be up 2-0, but unfortunately, had kind of squandered the first game. But in the second game, he kept his cool. He just did not let Food Please get into his mind. And that's how he could win. And of course, we see some villager fighting. So this is basically a 50-50 chance as to which villager will win. So you just should just go for it. And unfortunately for Gummibaer, he loses his villager. So it's a coin flip, and he lost the coin flip. So not a good move by Gummibaer to go for that, actually. Let's look at the civilization. So Food Please as the Burmese versus Gummibaer as the Goths. So maybe we'll see some infantry aggression in this game. I absolutely hope for that, because we've seen a great game by between Vasal and Herr Acker, where der Vasal was going for crazy infantry aggression and actually won the game in the end. So immediately we have a problem for Gummibaer, as he did lose this villager. He is not able to build a dock right away. Instead, he has to later on send out a villager to build the dock, whereas Food Please is able to directly build the dock and also build the house to not get housed in the beginning, of course. And he will also be able to take the shore fish here if he so desires. Let's look at the TC placement. So Gummibaer's TC is over here, where he will have some access to some ibex and the most important resource in this matchup, which is stone. So he's a nice stone pile over here and a stone pile over here, some gold. So in total, I actually like this position very much. Whereas Food Please, being over here, also has access to some ibex and also access to some stone and gold. So both dropping in a reasonable location, and that's how you see that these players are quite experienced. They pretty much know right away where a good TC placement would be. Now let's look at the population of those players. Now Food Please obviously ahead, and I think he will be able to go further and further ahead because he will be able to build fishing ships right from the get-go, whereas Gummibaer doesn't even have a dock up. So he rightfully first goes to food, so that's quite kind of an adaptation to the usual strategy, where you go for wood first to get out these fishing ships, as is Food Please doing over here. Instead, since he doesn't or didn't have a dock, he has to go for food first. Now he sent out a villager, and that villager hopefully will build a dock soon. And I imagine that oh, he already placed the foundation, now he's finally building it. So maybe the villager did bug out a little bit. And here we see the typical thing, Food Please going for the shore fish over here. And it looks like he attacked the wild boar. I'm not sure what he did there with these palisades and the boar. So, of course, not too much happening in the early stages of this game. Oh, that's a bad house, Gummibaer. I think you should use that spot maybe for a mining camp, but he probably does not know. Well, he does know about all the resources, so maybe he's thinking about a walling around here. However, against Food Please, that's never a good strategy, because Food Please will just put a tower here, put a tower here, put towers here. So you're just boxing yourself in. And as Food Please said in a recent interview, he does not like to wall in himself, because it just, denies your space, your expansion. So why would you do that? Instead, he likes to wall in the opponent. But I think he's done that less and less with get the opposing players getting more wary of his strategies. Now let's look at the scouting a little bit. So I think that Food Please does have a little bit more scouting, and I think that's also due to his earlier fish fish boom, and you see that he uses one fishing ship to scout, and that's very important so that your fishing ships, once they go idle, they automatically go to the next deep sea fish without just idling around. And here we can also see one of the bonuses of the Burmese, who are able to see the relics from the start of the game. I don't think that's necessarily a very strong bonus on Nomad, as players rarely actually have the ability to go for relics, but maybe we'll see that in this game. Gummibaer, on the other hand, if we look at his scouting, it's also not too bad, so the player is really getting better and better and better at scouting. However, he did suffer from this early loss of a villager, so he probably cannot afford to scout as much, and also he went later on to water, so he's also behind in scouting there. Yeah, and we see that in total population and in villager population, so it's a huge advantage for Food Please at this point in the game. And you see how big of a difference even a single villager can make that you lose in the beginning, and also like the delayed dock over here makes a huge difference in the long run. So let's hope that Gummibaer is able to recover from this early blow, and that he will be able to strike back. Now we see that difference in villager number and also in the scouting. We see that reflected, of course, in the score, which is usually a little bit inflated by the scouting. So I would not see the difference being as big as it looks like. However, Gummibaer is definitely behind at this point. And now we see the typical thing that happens in these games. So Food Please will send out a villager or two to scout his opponent. He's going maybe he's hunting. I think that's a misclick. Yeah. Now he's shooting this one. Now, oh, he's trying to deny the resources, maybe, because I'm not sure if he knows about the location of Gummibaer. Now he's taking a little bit of food from these ibex. Oh, and he's killing this one as well. So he really wants to deny these resources from his opponent. Gummibaer dropping a sneaky mill over here. And Food Please did not see the mill now, but he sees the houses. And I think, yeah, he already knows where his opponent is, as we can see by the laming that's going on. So also typical Food Please move, just wall in the resources of your opponent. It's called laming because it's a really lame strategy. But it can be quite effective. So usually players tend to frown upon strategies such as laming. Also this like killing off the animals over here and then just letting them rot away is also considered laming. However, Food Please, it seems like he has to resort to these kind of strategies, as he's not really able anymore to just overpower Gummibaer in a straight up fight. Yeah, and I think he might even... No, he was able to get this villager out. I thought that he might lose this one. And again, Gummibaer, yeah, now only chasing with one villager, so he's also getting better at chasing away opposing villagers. So he's really getting better and better at defending from these strategies of Food Please. Now both players researching Feudal Age, and actually if you look at the gap in the villager number, actually Gummibaer has caught up. So I would say he is definitely the better eco player, as he was behind 5 villagers at some point, and now it's only 2 to 3 at this point. Now, I don't necessarily like battering down these palisades, except if it's for an access to these 2 gold piles, then I think it could be worth it. And yeah, I think that's a good move by Gummibaer. Just chase this villager. I mean, he will, if you don't chase him, then he will just come back to haunt you and to build some watchtowers or some offensive buildings right in your face, because that's what Food Please usually is doing. So you also see the adaptation of Gummibaer's game to the playstyle of Food Please. He knows he has to chase this villager, and that's exactly what he's doing. Yeah, there's another villager of Food Please over here, and I think we all know what's coming. I mean, here's a perfect cubby over here. The Feudal Age will be in a second, and we're gonna see the first tower. And let's see how Gummibaer reacts here. Of course, now putting up stone walls, so that's also new. So it seems like Food Please getting a little bit more defensive. And it's only a single villager, so I'm not sure if that's gonna do too much. I mean, if Gummibaer doesn't realize, yes, but he might even realize that there's a tree chopped here. So yeah, but he can put up a counter tower, and that will basically completely deny this tower over here. Now, what's happening to our village couple? Oh yeah, they're still. Oh no, this is a fresh villager. They're still going strong over here, and so that's the importance of chasing, because you always know where this villager is, and eventually you will kill it, and you will still have your villager left over. So this tower is going up. There's some forward aggression by Food Please with some barracks. Gummibaer chasing these villagers. Maybe he will able to pick off another villager, because it doesn't seem like Food Please is actually noticing too much. And I'm not sure if Gummibaer needs to be worried too much about this. I mean, he is the Goths, so his infantry is cheaper. So maybe he should also just go for infantry spam in this position. But this is a nice engagement for Gummibaer, or was initially. He will be able to pick off a villager, and maybe he will be able to pick off a second villager. Yes, and now if he micros this correctly, he will pick off a third one without losing one. But yes, he will lose one, but probably, yes, definitely worth it. And you see this chase still going on and on and on. It's only 2 hits, or maybe a downhill hit. I'm not sure. Maybe this villager will survive with 2 HP, which would be quite unfortunate for Gummibaer, because he might lose his villager in the process. 2 more hits. Yeah, and now he has to retreat. But yeah, unfortunately, Gummibaer did not put up, or maybe it was a good strategy. He did not put up a counter tower, so he was denied this wood line. However, he has a second wood line over here that he can take safely. However, first militia are in, and they have found their first victim. However, I think the militia will just get cleaned up by these villagers. I think this one now only at 1 HP, but Gummibaer should not use too many villagers to chase, so that's still something that he might improve. And he also should make use maybe of his bonus. And in the meantime, look at this. Food Please advancing to the Castle Age. And yeah, that's quite an unexpected move. Now Gummibaer also advancing to Castle Age, but he's quite late. And now the men-at-arms are in, and Gummibaer being the Goths, but not using his bonus, and trying some quick walling, but that's not gonna happen. That's not good. And now the men-at-arms are coming in, and Food Please could even research long swords at this point, which is quite a big upgrade on the man-at-arms. And yeah, that's terrible, because this woodline has been denied. There should have been a counter tower, I think, just to get this breathing room. And now you cannot fight these men-at-arms with your villagers. He has to basically vacate this, and it does not look good for Gummibaer. I mean, in the village account, he's still pretty much even with Food Please. And there you see the classical no eco approach. Which you can see over here, so that's a typical Food Please economy. But he has learned how to use the market, so it does not matter too much. And Gummibaer should remember about this villager at some point. Now he's trying to maybe overpower these men-at-arms. I mean, if you attack with all of your villagers... no, he's not doing... now he's finally doing that. Losing another villager, another one. That's so terrible. So there you see the difference between a militia and a man-at-arms. Man-at-arms just so much stronger. And Gummibaer, you cannot fight this with your villagers. You have to go for some military, anything. You're the Goths. I mean, yes, if you wait for Castle Age, your infantry becomes even cheaper. However, yeah, that's just waiting too long. You should go for infantry earlier, but of course Gummibaer always going for knights, and that's something that I would like to see from Gummibaer in the future, is maybe adapt with a different strategy. Your opponent has shown you that he is going for man-at-arms or for infantry. He is in castle and he can go for longswords. And trust me, 7 longswordsmen, you don't want to engage that with a knight. Now, unfortunately for Gummibaer, the longswords man upgrade is not coming in for Food Please, because I think he cannot afford it. But still, knights is not always the play, especially if you're goths. I mean, you just have better infantry than your opponent. Because it's just cheaper, so it's always going to be better. Now, of course, without the longswordsman upgrade, the knights can actually fight this, so it's fair that he engages here. He will be able to kill them. But I think the damage has already been done. I mean, Gummibaer has waited too long with producing military, and now he's getting punished. And punished, he is being hard now. With a castle drop, however, he might be able to deny it, because Food Please does not get the walls up in time. But now Gummibaer has to micro this correctly with knights. But he did not do that. He let them get outside. And now the villages have been walled in and the castle will go up. And yeah, here for instance you could have just gone for archers, and archers would have been better in this overall situation maybe for Gummibaer, even though he is the gods. And so I think the castle will go up, and there you see the immediate punishment of Gummibaer. Now, in the meantime, Food Please not being disturbed. I mean, not that there's much to disturb anyways. If you look at all of these idols, I mean, it's 17 idols. But yeah, and in terms of water aggression, I mean, there's fire galleys out, but not too much happening here, to be honest. Now the knights trying to break in, villagers trying to break in, the castle will probably not be denied. It depends on how the micro is, but I don't think the castle will go up, and I don't think that Gummibaer can do anything. I mean, he doesn't have stone for a counter castle. He has just a couple of knights which get poked down by this the spearman, and yeah, I mean, it takes a long time to kill a castle. We've seen that in the last game, where Food Please actually had the time to get a university, to research murder holes, and yeah, and the castle was still going strong at that point. So you need a lot more to better down this castle than just a few knights and villagers. And what's your plan, Gummibaer? I mean, you have nothing. What's your economy? Yeah, so pretty big lead for Food Please at this point. I mean, he's still only at 36 villagers, because remember, he's losing many and he's also idling 20 of them, so actually a stronger economy for Gummibaer at this point, believe it or not. I don't know where even all these idle villagers are. I mean, probably here. Here there are some idols. Yeah, so I don't know if he has the idle villager hotkey, even if he uses it or not. But there's a lot of idle villages. But for Gummibaer, also these fishing ships, he should maybe go up here and take these fish. And yeah, and now we have the classic situation, I think, where fire galleys patrol to the wrong side. Oh, there's also fire galley by Gummibaer, which is not doing much. So yeah, the water aggression, as always for these players, I mean, it's not really happening too much. Now 2 more spearmen dueling it out with a villager. Of course, villagers 1-on-1 are stronger than spearmen. However, 2-to-1, of course, they will lose. And now I think murder holes came in. I think that's been the play. And we have the university over here, so I think the Food Please learned that in a game that I played against him, and I ultimately lost. But I did research murder holes, and he was quite annoyed by the murder hole castle. But yeah, I don't see a way back for Gummibaer. Food Please having now 40 villages against 31. has the castle in the face, and now he's coming out with the Arambai, and the Arambai are very strong in Castle H. So they have a very low accuracy, but they deal massive 17 damage, so they're basically similar to a Conquistador. And yeah, now what is this raiding troop of Gummibaer doing down here? They tried to batter down the dock maybe, but yeah, it's not much use. I mean, Gummibaer now going for a new TC over here. And usually I would say this game is done and over. However, if you consider the weak economy of Food Please, I mean, idle, these two are still idle. I mean, so there's this 7, 9 and 11 idols in one screen, then I would say, yeah, it's maybe still closer than one would think, because the economy of Gummibaer is probably stronger. And if he expands correctly, then he still has a chance at this probably. Even though Food Please has of course found the new location and will build another watchtower in the back of the wood line of Gummibaer. Gummibaer still maybe should think about a second location to expand to, but I'm not sure what he will be able to do. Now the watchtower has been built, another pestering spearman, and I never thought that I would see so many villager kills achieved by spearmen as in these messy nomad games. But again, I think another villager will fall prey to a valiant spearman. Now this castle, yeah, is standing strong, but there's not much of Gummibaer around anymore, so yeah, it's actually not achieving too much anymore in this position. Now Gummibaer getting badly housed, and finally Food Please are remembering to retask a few of those villagers, only having 14 idols at this point. And that means that he has one more working villager than Gummibaer. Now it's a few more than Gummibaer, because he's finally remembering that he has more villages. But imagine if all of those villagers had worked throughout the past 5 minutes, then this would be already over. But I think it's over anyways. I mean, the Arambai are here. You see how bad their accuracy is, but when they hit really hard, and he can just park these here. And look at this disrespect villager just walking through the town center fire. And of course, being a villager of Food Please, he survives with 1 HP. So it seems like a special bonus. But we have a sneaky villager, Gummibaer. If he realizes it, he can just attack and kill this villager, but now it's too late. The walls are up. Still, no fire against the aggression. And in all fairness, it's not necessary. I mean, Food Please has this game in the bag. He just needs to make sure that his economy doesn't fall idle, and then, yeah, this game will be done soon. And yeah, look at this. They're doing 10 damage per shot at 2 houses even, and that gets Gummibaer housed again. So very yeah, terrible situation. And look at this, his town center is full of villagers, and I don't know what the play is for Gummibaer. I don't know why he's still in the game. He should just call it GG and get on with it, get into the next game and try to yeah, turn it around, go for the equalizer, and then maybe go for an advantage. So I think that the deciding moment actually happened in the first few seconds of this game, where we had the villager war that actually threw Gummibaer behind by 5 villagers at some point in Dark Age, and it's just really hard to recover from that. And then secondly, I don't agree with Gummibaer's decision to always go for knights. It's like, okay, it's the only unit that he knows. I mean, they're very strong. Obviously in Castle Age they're the big power spike that you have, but sometimes waiting for Castle Age Knights is not the place. Sometimes it's better to go for Feudal Age aggression, and I don't think the Knights are good against these Arambai over here, because it's just already too many Arambai and they deal so much damage to the Knights. And I think you will probably see that here. Oh, okay, they're missing all of the shots. So I spoke too soon, never mind. I mean, the knight having now finally getting some hits And now the knight is down after killing a villager. Now the mangonels are here, mangonels on Arambai. There's not much you can do, and there you've got some tower here, a tower here, and Gummibaer could just resign. I mean, yes, he has a new TC over here, he's getting a market, he's technically still in the game, and surprisingly the villager difference is not growing. Food please sometimes just, could just go for a second TC maybe. He does not need to go for the 3 TC boom, but maybe a second TC to for instance over here. I mean, he probably knows about this location to acquire more resources and secure them. Should be a thing that he would that would be good for him to do. Now we see the mangonels attacking the stable and the barracks over here. And more Arambai coming out of the castle. And yeah, I don't think there's any way for Gummibaer to come back at this point in the game. And I think he's just wasting his time and the time of the viewers at this point. I mean, look at this overwhelming force of Food Please. He has 4 mangonels and so many Arambai, and the pikemen, they're just not gonna reach the Arambai even. And now he has to leave this area over here as well. And yeah, he has another area over here, but that could actually also be ranged by galleys. And yeah, I don't know what he's doing. I mean, yes, village difference isn't that big, but if the villages aren't working, if they're not doing anything useful, then it doesn't matter. And he has to realize this at some point. I mean, I'm a big Gummibaer fan. I think he has improved so much. He's been able to win against Food Please a lot of times. Food Please getting outplayed by Gummibaer even in the last games, I would think. But here he just needs to stop it and because it's only getting more demoralizing if you stay in the game, think you still have a chance, but in the end you don't have a chance. And yeah, so I think at this point Food Please just needs to find his opponent and kill him in the end. I mean, yeah, he already knows about this town center over here. There's another town center going up over here, and yeah, we have this very strong force of mangonels and also Arambai. And I don't think that there's anything that Gummibaer can do. I mean, look at the score even. It's 5,000 to 2,000 score, not even 2,000. Yeah, what is he going to do? I mean, the Arambai are raiding over here. It takes, I don't know, 3 shots to kill a villager. Yeah, this game is over. Now another castle foundation over here being built by Food Please. And yeah, Food Please would have to throw this game massively by just deleting all of his units or something. Otherwise, there's no chance for Gummibaer to come back. And now the Imperial Age coming in, castle coming in, mangonels are here, Arambai are here, and Gummibaer has nothing. Yes, he has 2 town centers, but he's at 27 villages, 27 population, no military against 84 population of Food Please. And I think once this castle comes up, Gummibaer has to call the GG. There is no way for him to come back from this. I mean, and look at those 5 mangonels. I mean, they're just gonna tear through these town centers. They're doing 75 damage per shot in Castle Age. So yeah, this town center just melts under this pressure of Food Please. This town center will melt under the castle fire, and there is no reason to play with anymore, and Gummibaer rightfully calls the GG. And still waiting to resign, still maybe looking around the map, thinking about what he could have done differently. I think in these 50-50 situations where either villager could die, I think it's not worth it to take the chance, because if you win, yes, it's a big win, but if you lose, it's terrible and it will just throw you behind. And once we look at the timeline, you will basically see that. So you see this in the Dark Age. I mean, he lost a villager, and that's why he was also able to get up, get the town center up later, probably. he wasn't able to create any fishing ships, and so there was he was always behind. In Dark Age, he did recover a little bit, which is surprising. So Food Police a little bit slacking off a little bit. But here was then the second big turnaround where Food Police actually came in with a surprise. Man-at-Arms Gummibaer was not ready, and he was also not willing to create any of himself to assemble a defending force. Instead, he tried to go for Castle Age, but if you look at this population over here, I think he was already too far behind, and then it just was downhill from there. And I mean, there was really no reason to play on at this point, I think. But still, valiant effort from Gummibaer. He has the potential, always the potential to win in these matchups, but this time, being behind already in the beginning, it was kind of already written on the wall. And I think that also his insistence of going for knights is something that he could improve on. But who am I to criticize? Very nice game from these two players, and I'm looking forward to the next one.